You're watching this, you've hired CYC 1 or 2 laser. They're both identical. They come as a standard or as a radial rig configuration. This one is as a standard configuration, and we're just going to give you a few minutes of tips how to get the best out of your hire. So the first thing you must do is fit the rudder. This is simply attached to the 2 pintles at the back, and just note there is a small ring that has to be inserted through the pintle here, so that in case of capsize you won't lose the rudder. Moving down, the bung, it cannot be removed unless you give it a good tug, but this should be securely screwed in clockwise till it's tight, because if you don't it will take in water. It is just below or at the water line. Okay, fitting the tiller, it goes underneath the traveller as shown here, and then slides into the top of the stock like so. Now this is quite a tight fit, and it's simply pushed in all the way, and there is a small hole here, and attached to a string here there is a small pin which will then go into here before you launch. The tiller extension should be already connected, and as you note there is enough friction to keep the blade up in this position while it's on the shore. When you go into the water and launch and start to go out, you will then push the blade down, and you'll note here there is a downhaul which goes underneath, and as you pull this, this will pull the blade down. You then pass this through this cleat here and then back through a bowline which you'll find is in part of the downhaul. Okay. Show you the detail on the rudder downhaul. As I said, it has a small bowline here. This is passed through a hole in the cleat here, then comes back through the bowline, through the cleat, and then a stopper knot as sewn, and then you can pull it down. Okay, the next thing we're going to look at is the traveller. This stays on the boat, does not need to be removed. In fact, it can't be removed. It's spliced on here and adjusted here through this cam cleat, and you can adjust this to suit. Generally in heavy airs this will be tight, in moderate airs again reasonably tight, and it's only very let off a little bit in light airs just to give it a bit of shape. Moving back here to the back of the boom, we have an outhaul which is adjustable. This ring or hook is passed through the clew of the sail here on the outhaul, and this will be on the boom already, and it's a Velcro tie down. This allows the outhaul to be closely connected to the boom as sewn, and you simply pass the Velcro strap through this eye and then Velcro it as I'm doing here to the tail. We have an elastic outhaul which allows the sail to be retracted and come back in lighter airs or on the reach. Moving forward on the outhaul, we have 2 blocks here which give us a 3-to-1 purchase, and again this blue rope here is permanently attached to this cleat. It cannot come off and it stays there. The same with this block here. Moving forward, the control line for the outhaul is this red line here. Again, it comes through this block here, which is attached to the lower part of the mast, and again that stays on the boat, whether it's the radial or the standard. They both have one of these floating blocks attached. You do not need to remove this block if you're using either of the rigs. They will both come with their individual blocks. The outhaul then continues to the block on the deck, and then to the cleat, and with a suitable bowline at the end to make a handle to adjust it. Just coming back to the main sheet, this is a 6mm main sheet that is standard with the boat, and as you can see, the traveller blocks are again permanently fixed to the traveller. They do not need to be removed, in fact they can't be. This block here is permanent, and that strap is, and the block in the middle. We simply thread the main sheet through the ratchet, through the first block on the main, on the boom, through the loop, through this block here, through the traveller block, and tie a suitable bowline, as you can see here. The laser kicker is a multi-block, multi-purchase kicking strap made out of Dyneema. It is all attached to this fitting here and is held in by a clevis pin and ring. This is the only thing you'll need to remove if you wish to use the radial rig. This will be attached to the lower section of the radial mast for the kicking strap. The kicking strap simply comes through this fitting here and out to the cleat, which will then have a small handle on the end of it and a plastic tube to make a handle after being passed through the cleat. The downhaul is this line, black one, comes from the cleat, runs up through the block here, and again is permanently attached to this block and tackle arrangement here. Again, this is spliced to the fitting at the lower end of the mast, and the only thing that has to be done is this Dyneema line, which is attached here and permanently attached, goes through the eye of the sail, and a suitable bowline then is done on this block with the becket on it. The dagboard, as you can see here, is the GRP one. It has a shock cord and a stopper knot, which again is permanently attached to this, and this serves two purposes. It's kept under tension with this elastic to ensure that when you're going downwind, the dagger ball does not go down. It basically holds it up in an up position when you're sailing perhaps on a broad reach. And also, if you do invert the boat, it's got some chance of keeping the dagger ball with the boat so it doesn't float off or you lose it. Now this should be attached with a stopper knot, as you can see here. It then runs through this grey line, which is spliced to this ring on the deck here, and you simply pass the plastic Holt clip through the bowline, which will be there for you, and then you attach it to this spliced rope at the front for safety. It's coming back to this grey line here. This is, as I said, attached to the deck, and you simply come up to here, and there is a small hole in the gooseneck. You pass the grey rope through the gooseneck and tie a simple stopper knot. This is part of the requirement so that you do not lose the whole rig if the boat becomes inverted. It's a safety feature line to prevent the bottom section or the rig being detached from the hull. This is Club Boat CYC2. As you can see here, we rigged the standard Laser 1 sail. This sail is a rolled sail. As you can see, there's no creases in it, and supplied with the kit there is a tube which you then roll the sail around it, and also the radial sail as well. The battens will need to stay in the batten pockets, they do not need to be removed, and when you roll the sail, you roll it parallel to the leech so that the sail is then correctly rolled on the tube. As I said, the outhaul system is attached here. This Velcro downhaul remains on here. The centreboard and rudder and tiller will go in the combi bag provided. The main sheet will stay in the boat along with all the spars. Have a good sail.